Wednesday the 10th of November, and in this video I'm going to be discussing all the little sordid juicy tidbits that have come out from the appeal which is taking place right now, and my lord, there are some very juicy bits. The most important fact is that Harry and Meghan both cooperated with Omid Scooby and Carolyn Durant for the book Finding Freedom. She vehemently denies this, but it is in black and white from Jason Naff that they did. Now, I've done several videos with regards to the court case that Meghan Markle brought against the Mail on Sunday and ANL, and we were well aware that the judge issued a summary judgment, and this is them appealing it. Yesterday it came out that Meghan did cooperate with Finding Freedom, and it also transpired that she wrote the letter to Thomas Markle written with public consumption in mind, the court was told yesterday. And yesterday the court was told that some brand new evidence by Jason Naff, who is the former communications secretary, will raise eyebrows and questions about the credibility of Meghan Markle herself. And lo and behold, that has just landed. So, new witness statements submitted to the Court of Appeal by Jason Naff, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex former communications secretary, says Harry and Meghan authorised specific cooperation in writing in December of 2018 to the authors of Finding Freedom, and they were provided with examples. Naff responds to the court and says that the book was discussed directly with Meghan herself multiple times in person and over email, and that in fact Meghan gave him helpful written background reminders, briefing notes for the authors Carolyn Durant and Omid Scooby for when you sit down with them, he was told by the Duchess. Naff says Harry also gave written pointers for the authors as well. Naff says in his statement that the Duchess added that the briefing points she wanted me to share with the authors in my meeting with the team, including about her father, half-siblings, her perspective on Harry's 2016 statement, her treatment by some media, and her wedding tiara. Now, obviously, this refers to some of the stories that she felt were unfair on herself, especially the whole tiara gate, on whether or not she wanted the tiara that was told that she couldn't have. But don't you find it interesting that she wanted to make sure that the authors of Finding Freedom had information and the correct facts as far as Meghan was concerned about her father, her half-siblings, her perspective on Harry's 2016 statement, which was when they started dating and Harry did that whole statement towards the media telling them to back off. The statement I've included here, you can see it above. Now, Naff continues that on December the 10th, 2018, an email to Naff, Harry wrote, "I totally agree. We have to be able to say we didn't have anything to do with it. Equally, you giving the right contents and background to them would help get some truths out there, especially around Markle wedding stuff." Now, that was an email from Harry, the Prince Harry himself, that said that he doesn't deal with journalists, that he doesn't deal, and they had nothing to do with this book, to his communications secretary, saying that he agrees that we have to be able to say that we didn't have anything to do with it, i.e. the book, but also they want to make sure that they get the authors get the correct narrative. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you either don't want anything to do with it or you do. There's no grey ground here, is there? And this to me is evidence that both of them were complicit in talking to the authors of Finding Freedom. They may not have talked to them one-to-one and directly, but indirectly they controlled the narrative. Much of Naff's witness statement in the Court of Appeal, supported with text messages and emails exchanged, appeared to be at odds with what both the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex insistence that they made no direct or indirect contribution towards the book Finding Freedom. In fact, Omid himself also agreed that he didn't have contact with them and they had nothing to do with the book whatsoever, although his kind of bit at the end suggests otherwise. Naff also says that Meghan told him in text that she obviously wrote her August 2018 letter to her father with the understanding that it could be leaked to the media. So she was meticulous in her choice of words, calling him daddy, to pull at the heartstring if the letter got leaked. Now, you remember this was the letter to her father, and it's under the belief, or most of us believe, that the reason why her 5 friends went to People was because Thomas Markle said nothing about the letter, and that this was baiting him to then release it to the media, and therefore we have this court case of her saying that it invaded her privacy. Now, in response to Jason Naff's statement, Meghan concedes in her witness statement that in light of the information and documents that Mr. Naff has provided, I accept that Mr. Naff did provide some information to the authors of the book and that he did so with my knowledge for a meeting that he planned for with the authors in his capacity as communications secretary. The extent of the information he shared is unknown to me. Do we believe her, ladies and gentlemen? Do we? Because I really don't. Let's just go back a little bit, because Harry said to Naff, I totally agree, we have to be able to say we didn't have anything to do with it. Equally, you giving the right content and background to them would help get some truths out there. So what they're saying is that we're not going to help you, but we're going to give you some information. We're going to give you some tips and our side of the story, but no, we're not helping you. You either helped or you didn't. Simple, black and white. If you told your secretary to go and have a meeting with them and you provided that secretary with tips and pointers and briefs, then incidentally, you helped. Meghan also says that in 2018 she shared my concerns about a post that was one of the authors, in their dual capacity as a royal reporter, had put on Twitter about me and a friend that I had been shown that was factually untrue. I made it clear that although we at Kensington Palace were being asked to cooperate with this biography, I would be uncomfortable doing so. If this person is considered an authority and is tweeting the below, the Duchess has previously said she largely avoids Twitter and social media for my own self-preservation, and so she doesn't get muddled by the noise. Meghan said in her new witness statement, I apologise to the court for the fact that I had not remembered these exchanges at the time. I had absolutely no wish or intention to mislead the defendant or the court. Yes, you heard it. She apologised, and that is her caught in a lie to deceive. Let's just remember and back up a little bit what Scooby said in a witness statement in September 2020 at the judgment summary hearing. He said any suggestion that the Duke and Duchess collaborated on the book is false. They did not authorise the book and have never been interviewed for it. Well, that might strictly be true. You've never kind of interviewed them directly, but it seems like you got an awful lot out of Naff and his colleagues. Now, a reporter on Twitter has posted an extraordinary email from Meghan to Jason Naff tucked away in evidence today, setting out some background reminders for detailed briefings seemingly set up between royal staff and Finding Freedom authors. And I'm just going to break this down for you. It's mind-blowing. So bear in mind, it was from Jason Naff to M, which must be, or is alluding to be, Meghan, and CC, Harry and Samantha Cohen. It says, very helpful, thank you. Also shows we've been on exactly the same page, which is good. It says, hi Jason, thanks very much for the info below. For when you sit down with them, it may be helpful to have some background reminders, so I've included them below just in case. I know you are better versed at this than most, but assisting where I can. I appreciate your support. Please let me know if you need me to fill in any of the blanks. Remember, this is from Meghan. Thank you. Family. M's relationship with half-siblings, including date/timing questions. They were teenagers when they moved into her parents' home prior to Meghan being born. Doria left Tom when Meghan was 2 years old, moved to the other side of town 45 minutes away. His other children were 15 and 17 years old. Tom Jr. and Samantha dropped out of high school and moved out of their father's home the same year. 16-year gap, and Meghan being a baby, there was minimal interaction. Meghan saw them a handful of times when she was under the age of 5, then again when she was 11 years old. She didn't see her half-sister again until her father asked her to attend Samantha's graduation in New Mexico when Meghan was 22 years old. She saw her for one day and hasn't seen her since. Upon Meghan dating Harry, Samantha changed her last name back to Markle and began a career creating stories to sell to the press. She had lost custody of all 3 of her children from different fathers, and although the press had been briefed about the non-relationship with Meghan, they continued to give her media opportunities. Meghan last saw Tom Jr. at their grandmother's funeral approximately 10 years ago. Meghan was her primary caregiver and took care of her the final years of her life. Meghan has never had a relationship with either of them. She was always referred to as an only child by both her parents and all of her friends throughout her entire upbringing because of the half-siblings were not in the picture by their own choice. There have been no communications or outreach. Meghan has never known their birthdays or middle names and vice versa. The family was raised very estranged, and the profile of Meghan's relationship created an opportunity for all of the Markles. All of these facts can be validated by anyone who has known Meghan since childhood or afterwards. Family, relationship with the family and father, past and present. They were close most of her life. Meghan supported her father in spite of his reclusiveness, as evidenced in the article she wrote about him for Father's Day on her now defunct website, The Tig. Media pressure crumbled him and he began doing press deals brokered by his daughter Samantha. Despite countless efforts to support him throughout the past 2 years, they now no longer have a relationship. H. November 2006 statement. Very turbulent time, exasperated by media interest propelled by Samantha Markle. Meghan was living alone in Toronto and worked, and her house was swarmed by paparazzi and journalists. She was chased off the roads when driving. She received a further threat. There was massive interest with very little support. Police were called many times. Decision was made to draw a line in the sand. First appearance at Invictus 2017. Not sure what background they want for this. Engagement proposal announcement. Wedding background on certain guest friendships, etc. Wedding planning. Dealing with media during Thomas Markle's situation. Nottingham Cottage in the future/1 apartment. Apartment 1 wouldn't be ready until 2021. With growing family, they needed space sooner than the Queen offered Windsor, which the couple gratefully accepted. They were also very happy to have the space and privacy that Windsor affords, being able to go for long walks, etc. Royal tour, planning baby announcement. H's humanitarian focus for 2019. H's work with Invictus for future of Invictus. M's philanthropic interests. M's charity work behind the scenes. M's first patronages. KP, Kensington Palace moving forward, separate households, dynamic between the two couples, Christmas plans, tabloid stories that need correcting, battening down, tiara, etc. Meghan shared the very special story about choosing the tiara in their wedding exhibition, now ongoing at Windsor. It's in the VO that she and Harry did. The Queen, Harry and Meghan were all present. She tried on 5 tiaras and the Queen asked her which one she preferred. Meghan asked the Queen her preference. The Queen said they all suited her and Meghan chose the diamond one, which the Queen agreed was perfect. Shame to see such beautiful, sweet moments screwed in the media. There was no conversation about any other tiara as a preference. Meghan loved the one she wore and it remains a very special memory. Also, Meghan does not work with stylist redacted. It's her close friend. Wow. And I'm sure there is going to be more and more coming out, but this shows you a direct link. It's not specifically direct with Harry and Meghan to the authors, but it's there because it shows that she herself gave Jason Naff briefings of exactly what she wanted him to talk about, and that is control. So I'm going to be doing a more in-depth video tomorrow about this, but I just thought that I wanted to get this out as quickly as possible because this is groundbreaking. This is brand new information. We all knew that it was going to be true, but this is in fact in black and white in the court. This could very well completely turn this appeal on its head. That Meghan didn't remember these exchanges between her, Naff and Harry, and that she had absolutely no wish or intention to mislead the defendant or the court. So essentially that's saying that I didn't really mention it, didn't think to mention it, or she was trying to pull a fast one, wasn't she? So I will do a more in-depth video on this tomorrow, but I just wanted to get this information out to you. I would love to know your thoughts on all of this, and do you think that the appeal will be overturned? My God, please hope so, please hope so, please hope so. As always, I'd love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.